So while we don't have a brand new full length from Mastodon to talk about, after all, we just did that a couple of months ago. Geez, what more the heck do you guys want? We do have this EP. This EP, Cold Dark Place, is actually just like getting a brand new studio album, considering these are 4 tracks that aren't covers or anything like that. They have never been before heard, and they came from some different and varying places, 2 in particular. And those 2 would be the sessions between Once More Around the Sun and one that was during the sessions of Emperor of Sand. And what's interesting about it is how the difference in writing does sometimes show itself a little bit between these 2. Now, this is only a 4-track EP, Cold Dark Place by Mastodon, and it is something that is pretty neat. Some people feel that this is their best work since an album such as Crack the Sky. We're going to take a look at this and see what we think. North Side Star for the first cut here is the longest song on the album. It's 6 minutes and 10 seconds long, and this is easily one of the strangest ideas that Mastodon has concocted. Trying to utilize higher vocals to their advantage in quite a bit of this, the overall construction of this song is pretty well met. However, the vocal line or whatever idea or concept that they had for that side of the track just feels all over the place. It is until about 4 minutes in where we get the break in the action and actually start to get to just an instrumental section that includes a killer guitar solo, where this song really feels like it comes together, but it is really held down a little bit by those opening couple of minutes. I can understand why this was cut from the record, which was Once More Around the Sun, because it's just one that doesn't feel like it's all of that hype. Blue Walsh, on the other hand, a 5-minute and 12-second long track. I'm really shocked it didn't make it in. This is a really strong song that has just a catchy rhythm and feels like it's very suitable for what the band was going for at that time. So I'm really shocked that Blue Walsh wasn't able to make it onto the final product. It's a really strong song, probably the strongest on the album. I really like what they did with Blue Walsh a lot, and encourage that if you haven't heard anything off of this yet, to scope out that song in particular. Although Toe to Toes is it's a little bit newer as opposed to everything else. This is the one that was from the Emperor of Sand sessions, and it's a pretty good track, but you can notice between Blue Walsh and Toe to Toes the difference in writing style, how it starts to go a little bit more closely to the progosphere as opposed to sticking around the psychedelic lands that Once More Around the Sun and other albums from the past, such as The Hunter, really were able to exhibit. But with Toe to Toes, it's a little bit more closely aligned to Emperor of Sand, and I have a feeling that this got cut because it didn't really fit in with the storyline too well, even though it may have had lyrics that were kind of shifting toward that direction. On the musical side, it feels like it has that same sort of prog meets, sludgy, or, whatever you want to call it, psychedelic expression. But you can just tell by listening to this and then going back and listening to, say, Jaguar God or any of the other cuts from Emperor of Sand, that Toe to Toes just feels like it's sort of the outside, the person that's on the outside looking in, the outlier. The one that's looking in through the window wishing that it could be a part of the party, but, well, wasn't invited. It's still a good song, that's the thing. I don't want to feel like I'm bashing the track all of that much, but you can kind of understand why some of these are B-sides, and Toe to Toes is one of them, where I understand why it was a B-side to Emperor of Sand. Cold Dark Place finishes this off. It's a great 6-minute track. They end with a really strong cut that has, once again, fantastic musicianship. I feel the whole thing sort of came together very nicely. It might just be an idea that felt like it was a bit too weak for the remainder of Once More Around the Sun. But honestly, alongside of Blue Walsh, I could see Cold Dark Place really have making it, maybe being bonus tracks that you would have gotten on a second disc or something. Or they had some time that they could have used, but they were maybe afraid that it was going to make the album too long, and these 2 tracks were cut, but I think that they could have been utilized in that fashion, and it would not have disrupted that album all that much, considering Once More Around the Sun was a bit of a strange bird to tame to begin with. Overall, it's a pretty decent EP. I really like what they were able to do with some of this work. But again, like I said, you can also understand why some of this stuff are B-sides, why they were just workings, and perhaps things that didn't make it to the albums in which they were slated to be on. I would give this EP, as like a 6 out of 10. I'm not really reviewing this officially. I just wanted to let you know of its existence, as well as also discuss some of the tracks a little bit. I think that you should pick it up and check it out. It's really, it's a neat listen. And it's always neat to hear what the bands don't consider to be good enough for their records, because maybe you agree or maybe you disagree. Either way, it builds a catalog. It builds a catalog of songs, and who doesn't want more tracks from their favorite bands? That's all that I can say. Scope it out and let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm CoverKillerNation. I'll talk to you guys next time. Take care.